Good morning, students. Today we are going to read the chapter Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood, written by Anees Jung. Anees Jung was born in Rourkela and received her education in Hyderabad and in the United States of America. She has been an editor and columnist for major newspapers in India and abroad and has authored several books. This chapter is an excerpt from her book Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood. The chapter describes the pitiable condition of poor children who have been forced to miss the joy of childhood because of poverty and their socio-economic condition. These children are also deprived of getting education and are forced to do the work at their small age. Here, the writer has raised her voice to eliminate child labor. Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. Well, the first part of the chapter deals with the narrator's encounter with Sahib, who is a rag picker, and every morning he does the work of picking garbage, looking for something valuable to sell. His family, like many other families of rag pickers, left Dhaka as their fields and homes had been swept away by storm. Now they settle in Simapuri and earn their livelihood by picking garbage. These children are excited when they find a coin or a 10 rupees note in the heap of garbage. The children of Simapuri do not go to the school. When the author asks Sahib why he doesn't go to school, he replies that there is no school in his neighborhood. When the author asked him that if she would start a school, whether he would come, he said yes. After some time, when again he met with the author, he asked the author whether the school is ready. The author felt embarrassed because she has made false promise to him. She also realized that people make so many false promises to them which are never fulfilled. Once, when the author asked his name, he replied that his name is Sahib-e-Alam. The meaning of the name is Lord of Universe. But that poor boy even doesn't know the meaning of his name. If he would know the meaning of his name, he would have a hard time believing it. The ironical situation is that Sahib-e-Alam, the Lord of the Universe, and he is doing the work of rag picker. Unaware of the meaning of his name, he roamed in the street with his barefoot friends for picking garbage. When the author asked the children about the reason for not wearing chappals, one of them replied that his mother did not bring them down to the shelf. But it is not the reality. Actually, the boy is giving the excuse to hide his poverty. Another boy replied that if his mother would give him the chappal, he would have thrown them off. The other boy, who was present over there, said that he wanted shoes as he never wore shoes throughout his life. Walking barefoot in the street shows that these children are poverty-stricken and are economically backward. Now the author remembered a story told by a man from UDP that when he was a young boy, while going to school, he often stopped at the temple where his father was a priest, and he prayed to God for a pair of shoes. Now, after 30 years, the narrator visited the temple and the town and found a young boy dressed in a grey uniform, wearing socks and shoes. So this shows that a lot of changes have come in the lives of people. But the condition of rag picker is still not changed. They are still living a miserable life. The author's familiarity with the barefoot rag pickers, along with Sahib, leads her to Simapuri, a place which is situated at the periphery. Periphery means outskirt of Delhi. Here, people from Bangladesh came and settled in 1971. Sahib's family is among them. The place is undeveloped. Here people are living in mud houses with roofs of tin and tarpaulin. There is no proper facilities of drainage and running water. Here 10,000 of rag pickers are living far more than 30 years without any identity but with a ration cards, which enables them to give their votes and helps them to buy their food. For these rag pickers, food is more important than their identity. Mother will be satisfied if their children will go to bed with full stomach, means with complete food, and sleep peacefully at night. Here, the author has depicted the struggle of these rag pickers for their survival. Here in Simapuri, the main source of survival is rag picking, means searching something valuable from the heap of garbage, sell them and buy food for their survival. For the people living in Simapuri, garbage is gold, means very precious, because it provides them food to satisfy their hunger and roof over their head to give them shelter. But for the children, garbage is more than just a means of survival. Once, when the author met with Sahib, he told her that sometimes he finds a rupee or a 10 rupees note while searching something valuable in the garbage. He became very much excited while he gets the money, but it doesn't happen every day. So here in Simapuri, the meaning of garbage is different for children as well as their parents. For children, garbage picking means wrap in wonder. They have a hope of finding a rupee or more than that along with those valuable things which they desire. But for the parents, rag picking is a means of survival to earn their livelihood. One winter morning, the author found Sahib standing by the fenced gate of club, watching two young men playing tennis. He was fond of tennis, but as he did not get permission to go inside, he contented by watching it standing behind the fence. He was wearing the tennis shoes, which was discarded by a rich boy because of a hole in one of the shoes, and which he found among the heap of garbage. Sahib was happy by wearing those shoes because for the boy walking barefoot, the hole in the shoe is not a big issue. For Sahib, getting a pair of shoes means dream coming true. One morning the author saw that Sahib was going to the milk booth carrying a steel canister. Canister means container. He told the author that now he was working in a tea stall and left the work of rag picking. He was getting 800 rupees from there along with all his meals. When the author asked him whether he was happy with his job, she observed that the happy look of Sahib's face had disappeared. It showed that Sahib was not happy with his new job. The steel canister which he was carrying Although it was very small, but it seemed heavier than the plastic bag which he used to carry while he was a rag picker. It was because the plastic bag was his own, whereas the steel canister belonged to the owner of the tea stall. When Sahib was a rag picker, he was free to do his work. He was free to do whatever he liked. But now, the work which he is doing has snatched the liberty and freedom of Sahib. He is bound to follow the orders of the owner of the tea shop. He is not free to do whatever he likes. I want to drive a car. Now, the second part of the chapter presents the author's encounter with another boy named Mukesh, who belongs to the family of bangle makers, but he wants to be a motor mechanic. When the author meets with Mukesh, he says that he wants to be a motor mechanic and he wants to drive a car. The author realizes that his dreams looks like a mirage, means unrealistic, because Mukesh along with his family lives in Firozabad, which is famous for bangle. Here, families have spent generations working in glass blowing industry, making bangles. Mukesh's entire family is also engaged in making bangles. Even the small children are also working in the industry. People of that area do not know that it is illegal for children to work in glass blowing industry. The working condition is also not good. They work in dingy cells. Dingy cells means small rooms which are gloomy, and they work in high temperature without proper ventilation and air. Here, 20,000 children are working illegally, sitting near the furnace throughout the day and making bangles. The working situation is also very dangerous, as they often lose their eyesight due to the dust particles of glass. Mukesh takes the author to his house, which is being rebuilt. The author finds that the condition of the area is very miserable. The lanes are dirty, stinky, and choked with garbage. The houses are not properly built. Doors are wobbly, means shaky, and walls are crumbling. Here, human beings and animals are living together. The author, along with Mukesh, stop at the door of a half-built house. There she meets with a weak and thin lady who is cooking food. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. She tries to cover her face with a veil. Then the author meets with Mukesh's father, who is very weak and thin, and he is also a bangle maker. Before making bangles, he was a tailor, but he was unsuccessful throughout his life. He was also unable to renovate his house or send his children to the school. Mukesh's father only knew the art of making bangles, and that is what he taught to both of his sons. Then the author meets with the grandmother of Mukesh, who is of the opinion that it is their karam or destiny that they do the work of making bangles. Mukesh's grandfather had also lost his eyesight due to the dust particle of glass while making bangles. She says that it is their tradition to make bangles as they are born in the family of bangle makers. It is their fate to make bangles. Being born in the family of bangle maker, they see bangles everywhere, in the house, in the yard, and in the street of Firozabad. The houses are dark in the flames of flickering lamps. Boys and girls with their fathers and mothers are welding the pieces of colored glass. These children are sitting inside the house and making bangles in low light. As a result, they lose their eyesight at a very small age. Savita, a young girl, was busy in making bangles. The author thinks that whether she knows the importance of bangles. In Indian culture, it symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag, the auspiciousness in marriage. When Savita will be married, then only she could realize or understand the importance of bangles which she is making. But the marriage also cannot change the pitiable condition of Savita. An old woman who was sitting near Savita wearing bangles complained to the author, "एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया," which means throughout her life she did not get a complete meal to satisfy her stomach. Thus, poverty is there in every house of Firozabad because for generations these people are only involved in the profession of bangle making. They even could not organize themselves into a cooperative or a group in order to come out from the clutches of middlemen who once cheated their forefathers and fathers by taking away their land and money. These people told the author that if they would try to organize themselves, they would be either beaten by the police or dragged to the jail. They also do not have any leader among them. After talking with the people of Firozabad, the author, Anees Jung, comes to the conclusion that there are two distinct worlds in Firozabad. One belongs to the world of bangle makers who are victims of poverty, and another is the world of Sahukar, the middleman, the policeman, and the bureaucrats who exploit these poor bangle makers to satisfy their greed and need. The author realizes how the stigma of poverty, caste, and exploitation by Sahukars, middlemen, policemen, and politicians have pressurized the children to work in such inhuman condition. Mukesh is aware of this harsh reality, but he has decided to dare and go against the tradition of his family. He has decided to go to the garage and learn the work of motor mechanic. Here, the author observes a sense of hope in the eyes of Mukesh, who dares to dream to become a motor mechanic. Thus, Lost Spring is the story of two young boys who are forced to do child labor, and their childhood happiness is snatched by poverty and tradition. Thank you.